Hello, and welcome to The New Terrain, where we'll be mapping leadership in a changing world. This is a fireside chat style conversation between myself, Leah, and Anique, the founders of Gather and Grow, and Rebekah Clark, the founder of Beautiful Soup. And we're all sitting at the edge of change in the work that we do. And we've been thinking a lot, the three of us, about intergenerational workplaces, the rise of AI, and how businesses can stay connected to their purpose while navigating the challenges of today. And so before we get into the series today, it's just a brief conversation to kind of get to know each of us and put some framing around what we're going to talk about in this series today. So Rebekah, can we start with you? Can you give us a little bit about who you are? And maybe you could even talk about how we met as well and help make the connection of why we're here today.
Absolutely. And I'm really pleased that we're doing this. It's so timely. It's so important. AI is on the tip of everyone's tongues, I feel, at the moment. So great to be gathering and having this opportunity to explore a bit further. So I set up Beautiful Soup back in 2012, specialize in social impact, purpose-driven storytelling, and work with a range of clients across all kinds of sectors and industries. When I was kind of reflecting, getting ready for this conversation today, I was thinking about the fact back in 2012, purpose wasn't really a thing in business. We were talking about social impact or perhaps cause-driven communications. We were talking about corporate social responsibility, but it's been really interesting to see from my perspective how my clients have very much evolved from being in that government, charity, non-profit sector realm through now purpose really needing to be an integral part of every kind of business, both private and public sector. And as we kind of go into this new era of what AI means for all of that, purpose, I believe, and I know you too, is a really, really important and critical piece not to be overlooked. We met Anique a couple of months ago, I think, at a Creative Mornings gathering in London. A mutual friend and colleague, Shona Beats, was speaking, who's so inspirational and brilliant. And I heard you speak and I heard about Gather and Grow and what you guys are doing together and just thought, we need to be in touch. We need to be friends. And thought there was a brilliant opportunity for collaboration. So it's really exciting to see this as a first little kind of bud of those conversations and seeing what happens.
Yeah. And I love that we met at that specific event where intentionality was just the heartbeat of that entire event. And so, yeah, that connective thread is really strong between us all the way from the beginning. So I love that. Leah, will you do the honors of a little bit of a Gather and Grow intro and I can fill in any blanks?
Absolutely. Hi, I'm Leah Zalinski, co-founder of Gather and Grow. At Gather and Grow, we really work with leaders in order to be able to help them navigate change with confidence and clarity. And I have a background in operations and strategy. And so I'll let Anique talk to her own background, but I'm really looking at ways for us to be able to integrate the work that we do in navigating that change into a way that translates into aligned action. Because when you just talk about the theory behind change, it stays too theoretical and that actually doesn't move the needle at all. If you want to be able to create meaningful change across your business and across your organization, it starts with leadership and it comes down to having an actionable plan. So the two of us work together in order to set the course of really providing founders with clarity on what is needed, what's going to move the needle for them most, and then being able to drive that change sustainably over time.
Yeah. And how we kind of came together, Leah, is we were both working in our sort of separate fields. Mine was workplace culture and leadership. Yours was more of the operational. And we kept kind of hooking each other into projects because we were like, we can't do this without this. And so it started as us almost freelancing each other into projects to say like, I need your help here and I need your help here. And finally we decided that, we need each other. And so do all of our clients because you can't do one without the other. So it's a real focus on culture, leadership, and operations and helping companies kind of scale and grow when their operations are no longer working, when their culture is showing its cracks, when leaders are just feeling too stretched. That's most often when we're called in to support. and yeah, create the behavior change on the human level, but also the operational change to help people navigate the tension they're in.
And one of the places where we start every single time comes with defining the why. Why does this matter? Why is this relevant now? And that's another reason why, Rebekah, it's so wonderful to have you joining us in this conversation, because we know that having that mission-based background, having that ability to really be grounded, not just on a leadership team, but across the entire organization and across the clients and customers of that organization, you have to be able to start with why this matters. Why are we doing this? And how does this trickle out through everything that we do? And so as we talk about change, one of the things that is so important is always really being grounded in why does this matter? Why are we venturing forth in this direction? And we're just so excited about being able to talk through this moment when so much is happening so quickly and it feels like change is around every corner. You can't change everything at once. You can't even start to embody change without understanding why it matters for your team and for your organization. And so this conversation is going to be so rich, is going to be so dynamic, and we are just so excited to be able to really dig into this over the next couple of episodes.
Yeah. The why is always so critical, isn't it? And I think we've acknowledged in previous conversations the timing of this. It feels like it's such a perfect storm of transformation. And it's this intersection of where we're seeing these really big shifts around AI and how that's kind of fundamentally changing how we work, how businesses operate. We've got the intergenerational piece of the workforce, where we're seeing Gen Z who are already in work and those who are entering the workforce who have completely different expectations around what purpose and respect means compared to when I started working, in 2000. And that speaks to the kind of the old ways of doing things and the kind of the leadership models that are unfortunately now, or fortunately, always looking forward. They're just inadequate. They're inadequate for this moment. And we're recognizing that it's the organizations who aren't adapting to this kind of new paradigm who are going to find it difficult, and there's a struggle there. And so I think we're looking to support clients who might be in that position so that they can feel relevant and feel confident and know how to move forward during this time.
Yeah. The build I want to bring in, using the word organizations is something that always pops out to me, where these like organizations aren't facing the change or are inadequate. But what that really is it's the leaders within the organizations, right? And we're always trying to bring it back to the human part of like the humans have to change in order for the organization to change and evolve. So yeah, just pulling through my leadership lens really strongly, it's like the setting up the leaders to be resilient, confident, ready, the readiness for AI in the face of this massive change and massive uncertainty that we're facing. And the reality is, as leaders sit with uncertainty all the time, but it's really about like unlocking the resilience, unlocking the trust across the organization so that your people are ready to go with you on this change and you're bringing them along on the journey.
Yeah.
So often we're talking to leaders who are just frustrated that their people aren't ready or aren't willing to come. And they're really excited about AI, but not really understanding how it's affecting the humans that are with them on the journey. And so, yeah, hopefully this conversation can just shed a little bit of light for that, of people up and down the hierarchy of organizations to kind of, see what's on the minds of us and other leaders around us too.
And also giving it the opportunity to have real kind of actionable next steps too, right? It's not just about the awareness. We all know that there's awareness there, but being able to break it into pieces that somebody can actually implement and execute is also a really important part of this conversation that we're excited to be able to bring to the table.
Yeah. It's what we each of us stand for, isn't it? It's kind of having leadership who are brave and courageous and take action. Is having the systems in place so that they're able to do it properly. And then from the purpose to human angle, when I was listening to you, Anique, it's just reminding me of empathy, and increasingly how we're seeing empathy and kindness in the business world being appreciated as a competitive advantage in a way that in the past would never have been the case. And so it's the three of those kind of working together that is going to really help businesses people really kind of weather some of these choppy waters, because that's what happens when things are new, right? And change can be scary. But I think if we kind of keep those three pillars and what we each represent close to heart and mind, then that's going to make all the difference.
Yeah. Looking forward to this series. So, in the coming conversations, we're going to be bringing you a 3-part conversation. Part 1 is all about how leaders continue to lead in the AI era while maintaining their purpose and their impact. Part 2 is all about Gen Z and the workforce and the leadership evolution that's needed now. And part 3 is feminine leadership and purpose driven business, which is something we're really excited to bring into the conversation. So stick around. We'll see you in the next chat, and we're looking forward to it.